The crew of the Stellar Wanderer had seen many strange things in their travels across the galaxy, but nothing quite prepared them for the day human Marcus brought his companion animal aboard. "What is that pathetic creature?" rumbled Thork, the ship's vortex security chief, his 4 eyes blinking in disbelief at the small, furry being perched on Marcus's shoulder. "This is Pixel," Marcus said proudly, gently scratching behind the cat's ears. The tinier feline, barely 3 kilograms of orange and white fluff, purred contentedly. "She's my cat, Captain Zixtara, a seasoned Zilithian with scales that shimmered blue-green under the ship's lights, raised one of her elegant eyebrow ridges. "You brought a pet on a deep space exploration mission?" The bridge erupted in various alien forms of laughter. Chief Engineer Blocks, whose gelatinous form rippled with amusement, translated for the others. "The human thinks this tiny creature will be useful somehow." "She's not just a pet," Marcus protested, but his words were drowned out by more chittering, clicking and rumbling sounds of alien mirth. Dr. Kent, the ship's arachnoid medical officer, extended one of her 8 legs to examine Pixel more closely. "Fascinating. Such a small cranium. Surely its cognitive capabilities are limited?" "Actually, cats are quite intelligent," Marcus began, but was interrupted by Navigator Krill's high-pitched whistle of derision. "Human Marcus," Captain Zixtara said with barely concealed amusement, "while we appreciate your attachment to this creature, I must ask what possible purpose it serves on a scientific vessel." "Well, she's great at catching small pests. She's excellent company, and she has remarkable reflexes and senses," Marcus explained. "On Earth, cats have been companions to humans for thousands of years. They're natural hunters." This triggered another wave of alien laughter. Thork's booming voice echoed through the bridge. "Hunter? This soft, tiny creature? My old hatchlings back on Vortex Prime are more fearsome." Even the normally stoic communications officer Rex, whose crystalline structure rarely showed emotion, seemed to pulse with what might have been amusement. "Perhaps it hunts dust particles," she chimed in her melodic, glass-like voice. Marcus sighed and retreated to his quarters with Pixel, who seemed entirely unbothered by the crew's reaction. She simply curled up on his bunk and began grooming herself with typical feline indifference to the opinions of others. Over the following weeks, Pixel became something of a ship mascot, though not in the way Marcus had hoped. The crew delighted in pointing out her uselessness at every opportunity. When she napped in sunny spots near the observation deck, they joked about her intense combat training. When she played with a piece of string, they wondered aloud if she was practicing her hunting techniques. The situation reached its peak when the Stellar Wanderer docked at Kepler Station for supplies. Dr. Kent had acquired a new specimen for her xenobiology lab, a juvenile Rigelian Fangbeast, supposedly sedated and safely contained. "Magnificent creature," she had told the crew proudly. "Even as a juvenile, it possesses enough venom to kill most known sentient species within minutes. When it matures, it will be a formidable predator indeed." The creature was indeed impressive. Nearly 2 meters long even in its juvenile state, with sleek purple scales, razor-sharp claws, and fangs that dripped with natural toxins. It lay motionless in its reinforced containment unit in the medical bay, supposedly deep in chemically induced sleep. That night, as the ship's artificial cycle dimmed to simulate evening, most of the crew retired to their quarters. Marcus was in the engineering section, pulling a late shift to recalibrate some sensors, while Pixel roamed the ship as she often did during the quiet hours. It was Dr. Kent's screams that woke the crew. They found her backed against the wall of her lab, all 8 legs trembling, as the supposedly sedated Fangbeast prowled the room. The containment unit lay shattered, its metal twisted as if torn apart by immense strength. "The sedatives wore off early," she managed to gasp. "It's been awake for who knows how long, just waiting." The containment field failed when it struck. From inside, Captain Zixtara immediately activated the ship's emergency protocols while Thork and his security team surrounded the medical bay. The Fangbeast's eyes glowed with predatory intelligence as it assessed its situation, clearly calculating its chances of escape. "Where's human Marcus?" the captain asked through the comm. "Still in engineering section C," came the reply. "But, Captain, that thing is between us and the exit. If it gets loose in the ship—" The Fangbeast settled into a hunting crouch, its tail lashing. Even in its juvenile state, it was a creature evolved for killing, and every being present knew they were facing a predator that could slaughter half the crew before they could stop. That's when they noticed a small orange and white form perched silently on a shelf above the Fangbeast. Pixel had been there the entire time, watching with the patience that only a true predator understands. The crew held their breath, expecting the tiny earth creature to flee at any moment. Instead, Pixel moved. What happened next occurred so quickly that several crew members later argued about the exact sequence of events. One moment the Fangbeast was preparing to pounce on Dr. Kent, and the next, a small furry projectile had launched itself from above with supernatural precision. Pixel landed squarely on the Fangbeast's neck, just behind its head where its scales were thinnest. Her claws, evolved by millions of years of Earth evolution, found purchase in the gaps between armored plates. The Fangbeast thrashed wildly, but Pixel held on with the tenacity of her wild ancestors. But it wasn't her claws that finished the fight, as the Fangbeast spun and writhed. Trying to dislodge her, Pixel did what cats have done to prey for millennia. She bit down on the back of its neck. Her small teeth found the precise spot where the creature's spinal cord met its brainstem, a killing bite perfected by countless generations of feline hunters. The mighty Fangbeast, scourge of 3-star systems, capable of killing any member of the crew with a single strike, collapsed instantly. Its nervous system severed. It died before it hit the floor. Pixel released her grip, sat down beside the massive corpse, and began calmly cleaning her paws as if nothing unusual had occurred. Bridge was silent for a long moment. Finally, Captain Zixstar found her voice. "Dr. Kent," she said slowly, "please run a full analysis on that creature. I want to know exactly how a 3-kilogram Earth feline just killed a predator that our weapons would have struggled to stop." When the analysis came back, it revealed what Marcus could have told them from the beginning. Pixel's bite had delivered exactly the right amount of pressure to precisely the right location. Her attack had been surgically accurate, evolutionarily perfect, and devastatingly effective. "Remarkable," Dr. Kent murmured, studying the data. Her species evolved alongside much larger predators on Earth. They developed hunting techniques that prioritize precision over brute force. She killed it the same way her ancestors killed creatures many times their size. Thork, who had initially mocked the pathetic creature, knelt down and offered Pixel a respectful nod. "I apologize, Small Hunter. I underestimated you." From that day forward, no one on the Stellar Wanderer ever questioned the value of Marcus's tiny companion. Pixel continued to nap in sunny spots and play with string, but now the crew understood what Marcus had known all along. Beneath that fluffy exterior was a predator honed by millions of years of evolution. And when other ships heard the story of how a tiny Earth cat had killed a Regelian Fangbeast with a single perfectly placed bite, the legend of human companions began to spread across the galaxy. After all, any species that could turn such a small, seemingly helpless creature into the perfect killing machine was clearly not to be underestimated.